Shalom, back with part 2. We're talking about Agent Risner, a.k.a. vocab. All right? All right, so, again, and I heard a loud voice saying, in heaven now has come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God power, the Most High Yahweh, and the power of his Son, Yahushua the Mashiach, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down. Again, right? We would witness the elect. We would witness the fall of our enemies. Okay? So this is a great time to be alive. Okay? Again, these scriptures represent life. All right? Salvation, life. All right? That's what Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is all about. Esau is about death. Okay? All right? So choose wisely out there. All right? All right. So the accuser of our brethren is cast down, right? He's going to be thrown down, man. Nothing like you've never seen before. All right? Or ever take place on this earth. All right? Which accused who? Us, the elect of Israel. All right? Remember, this stuff is all backed up right here, people. All right? Revelations 12 and 12 and 17. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, he that dwell in them. All right? And that would be us that are in this truth, as well as those that are in the heavens. Okay? Starting with our elders on down. Woe, destruction to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea of the people, the masses. For the devil, and we're not talking about the spiritual entity Satan, you're talking about Esau, Edom. We're going to prove that in a moment. All right? For the devil, which is man, so we're not talking about some guy either in a red suit with 2 horns, a tail, and a pitchfork. You're talking about Esau, Edom, the white man. It's come down unto you having great wrath. See that? Look that word up, wrath. Because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Short time to what? In his rulership, to rule. Okay, if you go to Job 14 and 5, seeing that, his time is short, he has a bound he cannot pass. You understand that? Temporary rulership. Do you understand that? Temporary rulership. All right? And I'll take you to something about that. All right? About temporary. Let me just finish up with this here. And also verse 17 here. It'll tell you, and the dragon was wroth, meaning angry with the woman. The woman is Israel. Proof of that is Revelations 12 and 1. All right? Scroll up. All right? Okay, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, and a woman clothed in the sun and the moon, and under her feet and upon her head a crown of 12 stars, talking about the 12 tribes of Israel. So it's showing you that, okay, the Lord has always looked at Israel as a woman, a calm and delicate woman, as you read in Jeremiah 6 and 2. All right? So, the Edomite beast system was wroth with the woman, with Israel, the Israelites, and went to make war with the remnant of the seed. But now a particular part of her seed, it would be those that have the truth. Let's prove that. Let's read it. Continue reading here. And it says, all right, which part of the remnant of a seed? Which keep the commandments of the God power. Again, you try to do your best. You're in your captivity. You make an effort to try and keep the law, statutes, and commandments, which we are still under the law. We're not under the first covenant, but we're in a grace period. And we won't be under the second until we get our new bodies. And then the law, statutes, and commandments will be placed into our inner part. That's a part of the new body that we get. You understand that? We're going to be programmed that way. Okay? And I don't need to take you over there. You can go over there to read Jeremiah, 31 and start at 31 verse, read down to the 34th verse, and you also read it in Hebrews, the 8th chapter, and you can start around the 8th verse and read down to the 10th verse. All right? And basically, it's saying the same thing. All right? So which keep the commandments of the Most High, right? Which we all try to do to the best of our ability, and have the testimony of Yahushua the Mashiach. See, we have the truth. See, we know who we are. And the Israelites would come back into the remembrance, into the knowledge. Because, again, we would discontinue from our heritage. Okay? And what are you going to try and tell me? You're going to try and tell me that the end was in 1681? We're in 2021. Right? There was no great mass awakening in 1681. All right? And these scriptures show you that they're not the people. Okay? And vocab, he doesn't deal with those scriptures. All right? Because he understands, he can't deal with them. Why is that? We know why. He knows too. Because they have to keep the lies going. You see? So they're going to go down with the ship. All right? He's not going to bail out. None of them are going to bail out. They're going to go down with the ship. They're going to go down with America, Babylon the Great. They're going to be cast down with her. All right? From that thermonuclear fire from the ICBMs or that concentrated laser fire from the chariots. All right? Okay? Like I said, this kingdom is temporary. All right? Tells you that, what is that? 2 Corinthians, for example. That's an example of it. All right, 2 Corinthians 4:18. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal. See that? This is a temporary kingdom. No different than the Babylonian, no different than the Medo-Persian, no different than the Edomites when they first came into power. As the third beast, the Macedonian kingdom under Alexander the Great, King Philip the Macedonian, his father. They conquered all of Europe, removing Japhet, right? Colonizing, right? Conquering, colonizing. And they call themselves after the lands that they conquered. Eventually, they morphed even into the fourth beast, the Roman Empire. All right? King Herod, right? Titus. All right? You understand all that, people? Okay? But then they were put down for 1,000 years, right? Okay? They were put down for that 1,000 years, right? Okay? And he laid hold of the dragon, all right, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. That's talking about the nation of Edom. And cast him into the bottomless pit, which is Europe, and shut him up and set a seal upon him. Again, at the spiritual seal, spiritual chains. All right? In other words, they were in their caves. All right? And that he should deceive the nations no more. See that? That's what he was created to do. To be the dragon, the old serpent from the garden, okay? Okay, the devil and Satan. And we're going to get into that word devil here to show you it's talking about man, all right? And the word Satan simply means adversary, all right? So that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. See it? Okay, and that's when the Moors ruled all of Europe, all right? And they like to call it the Dark Ages. But those were Israelites. Okay? So then it picks up here, verse 7 and 8. And when the 1,000 years are expired, right? Satan, who is Esau, Edom, the Edomites, right? The dragon, the old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, the nation of Edom, the Edomites, shall be loosed out of their prison. You see that? For what? A fulfillment of prophecy. So they would come back into power for a third and final time for that short little season. Okay? Right? That short little season, right? That it says right here. See? Right? He should be put down for, that he shouldn't deceive the nations anymore till the 1,000 years be fulfilled. You see that? So after the 1,000 years, he comes back into power. He shall be loosed out of his prison to reign one more last time for a short little season. We're at the end of his little season right now. You understand that? And shall go out and deceive the nations in the four corners of the earth, just like he did before. You understand? That's what he was created to do, people. All right? So you can't get away from this stuff. All right? You can't get away from it. All right? So, again, while we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen, for the things which are seen are temporal. So you see, this is the temporal kingdom. No different than those previous kingdoms, no different than the Egyptian kingdom. All temporal kingdoms, all set up by the Lord. He set it one up, and he taketh a kingdom down, and he setteth up another. All right, and this is the Lord that does that. And everybody got a chance to rule, so they got no complaint. But these Edomites, right, according to Agent Risner, they want to stay in power. And they believe that they're going to stay in power. And that's good. Because the bigger the pride, the harder the fall. All right? And we know what comes, after the pride, right? Destruction. Right? That's what follows. And the destruction is coming. Okay? All right. So, let me show you about the word double here. Okay? Show you we're talking about man. All right? So again, he's prone to slander, slanderous, accusing falsely. See, false accuser. Here's the key, people. Metaphorically speaking, applied to a man. I repeat, a man. So you see, it's not talking about the spiritual entity Satan, which also tells you that in Thessalonians. I believe what? Thessalonians 2 and 9 will tell you that. Whose workings is after the spiritual entity Satan. So it's talking about man there as well. You understand? With all signs and lying wonders. When you look that word up, lying wonders, that gets into the word pseudo. Which means what? Falsehood. And that's what you all been living in. You've been living in a matrix. You've been living in an anti-Messiah system based on falsehood. Okay? Falsehood. Like their pseudo-science. That's falsehood. It's all false. Your education system is false. A system set up based on deceptions and lies. You understand? And this man is hurt. These Edomites are hurt. So they send Agent Risner, okay, to come against the Israelites to try and put them back in darkness. Okay? And guess what? He's losing big time. They're hurt. And remember that the elect, if it were possible, the very elect would be deceived. And as you can see, what does that scripture mean when you read it in Matthew 24? The elect cannot be deceived. That's what it means. You understand? All right? So it's applied to a man by opposing the cause of the Most High, and may be said to act a part of the devil, right, here on earth, the human counterpart, and to side with him. You see that? And that's the spiritual entity Satan serves the Heavenly Father on the left-hand side. You understand that? And they worship him. You see how the Lord has always had him in a trick bag? You people get it? You understand that? Right? The Illuminati. Okay, the light bearers on the left-hand side. Satanists. Okay? Right? They're Satanists. All right? There you go. All right. Want to get into some other stuff. We'll have this here. We'll be right back with part 3. Shalom.